Hi, I'm Scott Kimball, and welcome to Small Town Life, right here on the Studio 25 Podcast Network. We have a great guest lined up for you today, but before I bring her in, I want to bring in my sidekick and producer, of course, Mr. Dave the Save Warner, and I call him Dave the Save from our old hockey podcast that we still like to do. So,
yeah.
Dave, how are you?
I don't mind the name at all. I'll run with it.
You know what? I'm sure you've been called worse in the past.
Yeah, just the other day, my doctor called me obese.
What?
I was going to slap her.
Well, I don't. But how was your cholesterol? That's the important part.
That part I don't know yet. I can't believe I said that.
Yeah, anyway. Well, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Live recording. Gotta love it.
It is.
All right. So our guest this week, she has just done wonderful things for this community. I can't begin to tell you the good that she's done. She is the director of the Loaves and Fishes Warming Center in Herkimer. This is Christine Lawrence. Christine, how are you?
I am well. How are you, Scott?
I'm great. Thank you for coming on, taking the time out of your busy schedule to come talk to us.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here to talk about what we're doing at the Warming Center and here in the community, how everybody's come together.
Absolutely. And it really, truly has brought everybody together for a definite good cause. But before we get into the Warming Center, let's do a little get to know you. So I want to know a little bit about Christine Lawrence. For instance, like, where did you grow up? Tell us a little bit about how your road to being the director of the Warming Center started.
I grew up right in the good old Herkimer. I'm a
great place to grow up.
Yeah. I'm a native. 51 years. You know, I grew up on the south side of Herkimer. And, you know, if you know Herkimer, there's always been a south side, north side thing going.
Right, just like right here in Little Falls.
Yeah, I was like, is that the same as Little Falls? Like, you know.
I think every township has it, right?
And it seems to always have to do with the train tracks. It's incredible.
It does.
Right?
Is that way in Herkimer?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yes.
All right.
I mean, it's gotten better over the years, but, you know, when you're a kid, you know, it's like, oh, what side of the train tracks do you live on?
Right,
Oh,
right.
geez.
Well, because years ago, State Street was the main line.
Yes.
For the old New York Central Railroad.
Yeah.
So, born and raised in Herkimer, and I love Herkimer. You know, there was a point in time when Herkimer didn't have as much collaboration as it does today. And at that point, growing up, I was like, I really want to leave Herkimer. I want to be part of a community that people are more thriving and working together, right?
Sure.
We all have been there at one point or another, not realizing that the good that's really happening behind the scenes, because there's always things happening behind the scenes.
Right.
So, you know, I left the area for a little while. I went to the good old Boston, Massachusetts for a few years, and then felt the calling to come back to Herkimer. And as much as I tried to fight it and say, I don't want to go back, well, somebody else said you're going, and here I am.
Well, we're glad that you came back.
As am I, yes. Got married, had 2 beautiful daughters, and just decided that, you know, things were happening in the community. I kind of sat back observing things, and then I'm like, you know, I want to be part of my community. We need to be involved, right? We can't make a change or be part of the change unless we jump in.
Sure.
So raising my children, I was very involved with raising them. I did everything with them, from cheerleading coach to Girl Scout troop leader to PTA meetings, you know, and I love helping my community. So one thing led to another, and then did a lot of ministry work, a lot of homeless ministry work in Massachusetts, and going back and forth with my church. And then my heart was very called. It was recognizable to me that my heart was called to homeless ministry.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a wonderful job you do with it. Because, you know, I mean, for all the great things that go on here, not just in Herkimer, but in the Mohawk Valley, sure, there are still problems as well. And, you know, one of them, too, is, you know, the homeless folks. And right up until the Loaves and Fishes came along, they really didn't have much of anywhere to go.
I agree. They didn't. And they were sleeping on people's porches, going in people's yards, and things were happening. Our neighbors were not happy about it. And they shouldn't be happy about it, because I know I don't want anybody, a stranger in my backyard or on my porch, so I get that. But we've been able to kind of keep them out of people's backyards, out of people's porches, out of their vestibules, and brought them into the warming center. They take pride in having a place to come.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, and it's stereotypical to say, you know, like, oh, it's a problem. They're homeless. There's a problem. You know, sometimes they're just looking for a place to sleep, really. Yes. But you know, you can't blame the general public for, if you don't know somebody and you wake up and somebody's sleeping on your porch, it's like, whoa, what's going on here, right?
Absolutely.
But in your experience, before we get into the Loaves and Fishes, in your experience with the homeless and the ministry and all that, what are some of the common reasons that a person becomes homeless?
Mental illness, addiction, loss of job, Those are the three main points that I found in dealing with working with the homeless.
Yeah.
Those are big ones.
Yeah, and that's a big thing now. Fortunately, I mean, it really wasn't. I mean, I remember. I mean, I'm 50, and I remember growing up. I grew up right here in the valley too. There really wasn't much outreach for, say, like a mental health initiative or addiction. Really, it was just it was. I don't want to say it was stigmatized, but it was kind of stigmatized, really.
It was.
So, I mean, there's a little bit more going on now, which helps for sure. But would you agree that maybe that more needs to be done?
More always needs to be done. But everybody's doing a great job. Our community has come together wonderfully. The programs that we have with outreach, Catholic Charities, the Rise, Beacon Center, Throughway Recovery, Neighborhood Center, Department of Social Services, so many agencies and organizations are coming together. We now recognize that this is where it begins.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the Loaves and Fishes actually opened last year, right around this time, as I recall.
Yes.
So how did that all come about? Because I'm sure that it wasn't just you woke up one day and said, hey, we're going to set it up right here at the Salvation Army, and tomorrow it's going to be open.
No, it was a challenge, 3-year challenge. I was working through Presbyterian Church of Ilion and trying to serve dinner to those who needed it. Our numbers grew. We went from serving 6 people to 36 people. And then I said, well, you know what? I had enough help that I was able to kind of give that over to the individuals who were helping. And I came to Herkimer. And when I came to Herkimer to try to set up the dinners, I was really seeing there were more homeless people that were coming to those dinners, more than what we were getting in Ilion at that time. And I just wanted to do more. And then I heard about Loaves and Fishes through the Methodist Church in Herkimer. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. And I quickly called Pastor Joel and I said, I want to join you guys. This is what we need. This is my heart's desire. Let me join you. What can we do? And when I did, I just kind of took over. I started researching other warming centers and other shelters around the world. I took information from a shelter in Pennsylvania, and I read what they were doing. I read their bylaws, their policies, everything how they were running their program, as well as the Bethesda Church in Utica. Met with some of those folks and just finally decided to sit down and write a program and let's get this going.
Yeah, that's absolutely wonderful because, I mean, last year, actually, I came down, as you recall, for one of my projects for Herkimer College.
Yes,
Paul alumni, by the way. And you were so warm and welcoming and very helpful with that project. And one of the things that I learned was, of course, Loaves and Fishes is not an overnight or like a 24-hour shelter.
No, we are just overnight.
Which is just overnight. So, I mean, and there is no place else in Herkimer County that even remotely comes close to doing what you guys do.
No, we are it for Herkimer County for right now. But, you know, we recognize we need to expand our program. We need something for them to go through the day as well as the night. So it would be nice to open the warming center on a 23-hour basis and be able to really have them stay with us and help them with jobs and skills and rehab and whatever else they need.
You know, that's a great point because, I mean, if you look at it, it's a two-pronged problem.
Yes.
Right? So, yes, you need to provide shelter for homeless people, but you also need to be able to provide them a pathway to help them get back on their feet and get back on their own so that they're not depending on the warming center, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but I'm just saying that to help them rise above the issue that they're having. And so that, I'm sure, is where a lot of social services comes in, Catholic Charities, and all the organizations that you just mentioned.
Yes. They've been wonderful. So what we do is we provide those resources to our individuals and then they seek them out. But we can also make resource calls. So if I have an individual last year we had 144 people stay at the warming center in a 7-month span.
Wow. Of
those 144 people, 6 of them we were able to permanently place in housing. With the help of Department of Social Services and Catholic Charities, helping with rental expenses and whatnot. Of those 144 people, we had 5 of them go to in-house rehab. Those numbers are great. We'd like to see them, see bigger numbers, and we'll get there because it's all of the agencies working together. Without all of agencies working together, we would not have been able to do what we did last year. So we want to continuously grow on that, expand the programs, and everybody wants to continuously help. So collaboration is key.
That's wonderful too, because and you know what? There's so many places within the valley. You have like a lot of empty buildings,
Yes,
that you really could utilize for these kind of things. So hopefully our elected officials are listening. I'm sure they've been very helpful. I know I talked to a couple of the county legislators for that project I was telling you about, and they're very thinking forward and wanting to get this moving forward. But of course, it all comes down to money too. So that's where, you got to figure out where that's going to come from. That's a big part of it. But you also, over the summer, had a cooling center in Ilion.
We did.
Which was also a great collaboration amongst the organizations.
Yep. Thank you to Herkimer ARC. They worked with us very closely. We had a spot in Ilion where we were open from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. We served lunches. We didn't have as many individuals come as we anticipated, but for those who did come, we were glad that they came. We were able to provide them with lunches, resources, and some great socializing with us.
Yeah, because the warming center is great because during the winter, obviously we know up here in upstate New York, it gets frigid.
Yeah.
But during the summer, the heat can be just as much of a danger to somebody who doesn't have shelter from it.
And I think a lot of our homeless individuals, they see it as they want some place to go in the summer without having to be out on the street in the heat, but they were afraid. Who are these people?
Sure.
So it's all about building relationships, but we gotta get them there first. And they're very hesitant. They're very hesitant in trusting people. So the warming center has been a little different because those individuals, some of them are kind of forced to come, right? They've no place to stay.
Sure.
A lot of our individuals will fight the heat, but to fight the cold, that can be just as
absolutely.
That can be deadly.
It sure can. Frostbite is just nasty, a nasty thing. But again, to be able to have someplace 12 months a year would be wonderful.
Much needed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Much needed.
Any progress that you know of that may be moving towards something like that, or is it still kind of in the planning stages, kind of?
Well, Scott, I don't stop.
This we know, that's for sure.
I've had a lot of conversations with other agencies, Rescue Mission, Catholic Charities, Commissioner. And like you said, we really do have great help and assistance and support from our local police department, our legislators, our elected officials. They do support us in what we're doing, but everybody knows that nothing happens overnight. Right. We got to plan. We got to prepare. We got to think outside the box. When we do something big like this, we want to make sure it's going to be sustainable and maintainable, and we don't want it to ever be a mistake. Right. So I believe it's coming. It's coming very soon because we need it. Everybody's recognizing the issue that we do have, that it is an issue, and in order to make the issue a better situation for everybody, we need this. For sure. And, if there could be little satellites set up throughout the valley too, because Herkimer, of course, has a homeless, but there's homeless throughout the valley. There is. And we found that our biggest numbers are Herkimer, Ilion, Little Falls. Sure. You know me, Scott, because I'll stop at nothing. I'll have a hub in every village if we need to. Oh, absolutely. If that's what we need to do, let me know. Let's do it. Absolutely. And do you have any shortage of volunteers? No. That's wonderful. No, our staff and our volunteers, they're wonderful. The cooling center this summer was run strictly by volunteers, and a lot of collaborating with Working Solutions. We got individuals through Working Solutions. They've been fabulous. I got more volunteers coming in this week for the warming center. So it just continues to grow. Really? We could use some more help with those Saturday dinners. So if anybody out there wants to prepare a dinner or serve a dinner on Saturdays throughout the winter months, let me know. Absolutely. And when we're done, we'll be able to get a graphic up on the screen for you for how to contact you and stuff like that. So because the general public may not generally know how the warming center operates, right? So what we'll do is we'll kind of do a go through a day for somebody who's brand new to the warming center. They show up and take us through the process of signing somebody in, getting them all set up, and how it goes. Well, they come in, they have a seat. We're up to 10 people right now, by the way, that we have coming in on a nightly basis. So that's a good number. Sure. And we're going to increase from here. As it gets colder. Yeah. So they come in, they sit down, a staff will go out. We have a volunteer who stays in the seated area with them and just kind of talks to them and keeps everything calm, lets them know how things are going to happen. They're brought into the office where a staff member will ask them a lot of questions, go through the intake process. We do want to know, we need an emergency contact. If something happens, we want to know who to call for you.
Sure.
We want to know if you have any health issues or if you have any health concerns that we need to know about. A lot of our individuals last year, strange enough, were diabetics. We had like 4 diabetics that were staying with us. And again, why we need those weekend meals, because if we have a diabetic staying with us and there's no meals from Thursday to Monday, they're going to have some problems. They come in, they do the intake. After they're done with the intake, we ask them if they need any hygiene items, clothes, anything that they might need. That we have a shelf full of items for them. From there, they go to security. Security scans them, and then all of their stuff is put into a locker where it's secured for the night. Really, the only items that they bring into the sleeping area are a cell phone, earbuds. That's pretty much it.
And you know what?
Everything is locked up.
That's a great thing for the public to know, because, I mean, that's something that you wouldn't think about initially, right? I mean, if you think, they must be able to just bring everything that they either found on the street or whatever in, but that's not the case whatsoever. And the warming center is very secure.
Yes. We're all about safety and security. We understand that everybody has something. Everybody has a vice, right? I'm not profiling, but some of our individuals have drug addictions. Some of them have alcohol addictions. They have mental illnesses. But in order to keep safety first in the center, we can't control outside the center. But what goes on inside the center, we want to control. So safety, safety, safety. That's why everything has to be locked up. We don't want any drug use, any knives, any guns. Right? It's survival of the fittest out there. I don't know what's in their bag.
Sure.
They do open the bag. It is wanded. Security does look in there, but we're not going to take anything out. We're not going to tell you it cannot come into the center, but it will not come into the sleeping area. That we guarantee.
And that's wonderful, just for the safety of not only the people that are sleeping there, but for the staff too.
Absolutely.
I mean, you cannot have gas, and that's a wonderful thing. Yep. When I visited for the article there, I also noticed that you have food available for the people that need it, that want to eat. And you do send them off with a meal when they leave. Yep.
Well, when they come in at night, we have coffee, water, hot chocolate if they want hot chocolate, and a snack. By 10:15, the lights are off because, they've had a long day.
Sure.
They need to get some rest. And sometimes we have to really tell them, listen, just settle down now, lay down, relax. You got a busy day tomorrow, walking around and doing what you have to do. In the morning, they get a breakfast, and they do leave with a bagged lunch.
That is wonderful. And who provides the food?
Community. It's all donations.
Wow.
We've gotten a tremendous amount of donations. I mean, our community, Herkimer County community is just wonderful. Not only through Herkimer County, but we've had agencies from Oneida County make donations. So everybody is truly coming together. I could not be more pleased.
That is just a wonderful, wonderful thing. It really is. And the warming center itself, what are the hours that it's open? 9
p.m. to 7 a.m., 7 days a week.
7 days a week. That is that's amazing. And staffed by volunteers. And, I'll tell you something, we talk, like I was just saying earlier, sure, Herkimer County's got its problems, but I'll tell you the one problem that we don't have here is people with heart.
We've got a huge heart here. I'm so proud to be back in Herkimer County. It's called back here. I'm happy to be here. I can honestly say.
You don't miss those pilgrims at all?
I don't. I like the Indians.
Oh, jeez.
Well, Dave was going to dress up as a pilgrim for Thanksgiving, so that's
I could, yeah.
We'll do a Thanksgiving show.
Yep.
Pilgrim. He's not Dave the Save anymore. He's Pilgrim Dave now.
Do my Mayflower outfit. It's like having tights on.
Yeah, there you go. Right, there you go. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do, Christy. We're going to do a quick commercial break. I'm sure Dave wants to try his new costume on, but I can't promise he'll be back on when he. But anyways, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we got a few other things we need to talk about. So Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Visit My Little Falls and stay connected with the latest news, information, and events in the city and the area. Our mission is to generate interest in the community and connect residents in a more meaningful way by facilitating deeper conversations about how these stories will shape the future of the Mohawk Valley. Join thousands of weekly visitors who stay up to date with feature stories, interviews, videos, our event calendar, and print publication, the Mohawk Valley Express. It's about timely local news, with the community, keeping citizens informed about important issues, telling about the people who live and work here, and giving locally owned businesses the opportunity to reach a very targeted audience of locals and tourists alike. It's a whole new form of media-rich content developed specifically for today's mobile lifestyle and listeners. You can download our iOS app in the iTunes Store, listen to our country music streaming radio station, or sign up for a weekly newsletter. Stop by today at myvalleyfalls.com. You'll be glad you did.
And we are back with Christine Lawrence, director of the Loaves and Fishes Warming Center. And I'm sorry to report that Dave did not have enough time to change into his pilgrim costume.
That's correct. I did.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Next time.
Next time. Yeah, right.
Next show, you know what? We'll make sure he's got it on before.
Yeah, no.
Oh, goodness. Well, Christine, we have got a fundraiser coming up to help get some funds into the warming center, which I'm sure are very needed to continue providing the services that you want to. So tell us about this fundraiser you got going on here.
Fundraiser November 2nd. Dinner, entertainment. Dinner will be provided by PK's Pub.
Ooh, yummy.
Ooh, good stuff.
Great menu, yeah. Great menu lined up for us. We have an open bar and entertainment by Mark Bolos Band.
Awesome. Whereabouts is this?
This is going to be at the Nathan Castle Apartments on Main Street.
Okay.
It's at the old Tougar School.
Yes.
So
I know what you're talking about.
Debbie Kessler is helping us with this, and she's got some great ideas, and we're going to transform the gym area. So it's going to be a flashback for me because I went to kindergarten at the school.
Right.
And Debbie is full of ideas.
Debbie's wonderful.
Full of something.
Now, just for the record, Dave said that, not me. Okay, just so we know.
She'll know.
Pilgrim Dave.
She'll know it came from me.
Oh, goodness. So November 2nd, this is awesome. So we got the dinner, the dance, we got everything going on here. I'm going to hold that up.
It won't focus on it,
focus.
Scott. Yeah,
All
it's
right,
going to be right where your face is, so I'll put it up on the screen.
Yeah, we'll put it up on the screen. That'll be fine. Yeah. And when we do that in post-editing.
Yeah, this is fixed focus, God.
Well,
yeah, you know those terms now.
I know, right?
Now that
I should know better than that.
Now you're being educated now.
Well,
over at
I'm
Herkimer.
so distracted by the thought of him in a pilgrim costume. I can't even do the rest of the show. That's it. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Christine, this is the part where the show goes off the rails, by the way.
You figured that out, right? It's been a while since Scott and I did a show together, so it's,
we got a lot built up.
It's time. I had a serious one this morning, a Vietnam veteran story this morning, so I had to be serious, but now I can let loose. So
yeah, he's been waiting.
I've been waiting all day.
You need that little downtime.
Yeah.
That's all. But getting back to this, how can you just show up at the door, or do you have to have tickets in advance? Or
there is a QR code here, so you can purchase tickets in advance.
Okay.
If you want to, I guess you could purchase tickets at the door. We were not going to turn anybody away for.
Well, I didn't think so.
You could purchase a table of 8. If you click on the QR code, it does take you to a site where you have all those wonderful options available to you to purchase them online. And like I said, you can. It's $75 per individual or $145 per couple, and we do have tables of 8. So if you get a table of 8, it averages out to $70 per ticket.
And that is excellent for a fantastic cause. Any more other fundraisers coming up, or is this for the near future? Right now, this is the only one.
That is it for now. Yeah, we may decide. Maybe at the close of the center, but we're busy. We're very busy.
Well, absolutely. So. I mean, you got a 7-day-a-week operation going on. That's got to be, it's going to be tough trying to fit this in too. Yeah. That's for sure. If somebody wants to help out with the warming center, be it volunteering or whatever. By the way, I know volunteers for the center, but is there any other functions that you needed for volunteer staff?
Well, right now, a lot of our staff is paid. So we have paid staff. Mm-hmm. I just want to clarify that paid staff and volunteers. We'd always need help with those dinners on Saturday. In the morning, help with cleaning up. And we'd like our staff to get out of there by 7 o'clock in the morning because Salvation Army does have other programs going on.
Sure.
Let me just clarify a couple things here. If anybody would like to support us, but they can't come to the fundraiser event, but they would like to be a sponsorship.
Oh, yes.
I have a sponsorship sheet as well. It's not too late to do that.
All right. And we can get that in, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We are separate from the the Salvation Army, we are a completely separate entity, a non-for-profit, and we do pay. We pay them a lease amount for the for our space usage there. So we are always looking for another building that would be suitable for our needs and that we have coming up currently and in the future.
Okay. Here, the library building is going to be open. I didn't say that, did I?
Jeez.
Sorry.
Another one that Dave said that, by the way, not me.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a whole nother controversy.
Yeah. Do we want to do a podcast on that? No.
Not right now. We don't know.
Okay.
But Loaves and Fishes available obviously on social media.
Yes.
Do you have a website? And
we have a website. We have a website and we have a Facebook page. The website is a Wix website.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. We'll put
I'm
it
sure.
on screen.
Yeah, we'll
find
it up. Yeah, that's fine. That's no problem.
Thank you.
But yeah, this is just absolutely wonderful.
And how about a phone number?
315-868-9073.
That one she knew.
There you go.
I know she'd get 1 out of 3.
But you know what, though? In baseball, that's a .333 batting average. That's fantastic.
It's not bad.
So there you go.
did
See?
well.
Not bad.
Yep.
You can form a softball team next time. So,
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
But anything else you wanted to add that we might have left out?
Support. We do have a wonderful community. Everybody's coming together, and we're so grateful. We're so appreciative of everybody who helps in one way or another, the support that we're getting from the community. Again, with those opportunities, either a donation of items for the dinners or for our individuals who do come to the warming center, food items. If you want to prepare a dinner, we have a lot of Saturdays through the winter months that we could use people, come in, cook a dinner. Find out who our homeless people are. Find out who those neighbors are.
Sure. They'd be losing weight if I cooked their dinner. Not being that good of a cook.
Even chili. People like chili.
I might actually be a worse cook than you.
Yeah, I don't know. We could have a contest.
Microwave hot dogs, anybody? Because that's about the extent of where I can.
Yeah, I could do that.
Hot dogs and macaroni and cheese is a very likable dinner.
Don't ask my kids. That's what they grew up on.
Those are most kids' favorites right there.
Eating out of the can.
Well, it's funny. My daughter, who just turned 15 today, I mean, she was pretty much raised on chicken McNuggets from McDonald's because when I had her during the day, I was like, oh, guess what, Maddie? Guess
smiling.
Yeah, they knew her name at McDonald's.
Oh my God!
They knew the
First
order.
name.
Like, oh, you want your usual? Yes.
Yeah. Such a good dad.
Yeah. Hey, well, she. But
if anybody wants, if anybody wants some hands-on with our individuals, again, Saturday dinners are a great way to get to know them. They're not scary people, really. They're humans, and they like to give back to our community. They really want to be part of this community. Last April, we did a cleanup for Earth Day. We cleaned up the garden. We went over to the library. We cleaned up the Salvation Army. We had some great assistance from our individuals who were staying at the warming center, and it gave them purpose. And when somebody has purpose, you can see a significant change in their attitude.
And that is so true, so true. Somebody feels like they've got something that, okay, this is what I can do. This is how I can at least give back.
Yes.
It really can change somebody's perspective around.
Absolutely. At one point or another, we've all been down on our luck or down on ourselves. Something hasn't gone quite the way we had hoped it would go or anticipated it would go, and we have some kind of suffering going on. But we all do that. We all go through that. So why can't we help those who are suffering? I mean, I know what I'm called here to do. Do you?
Well, I
put him on the spot.
Right now, I guess I'm called here to do this podcast. But
see, we all have a purpose.
Oh my God!
And one other purpose to make sure Dave gets in that pilgrim costume too.
Yeah.
But
I'll work on that for Thanksgiving.
But Christine, thank you so much for taking the time to come down and talk to us and let us know about everything that's going on at the Warming Center. And of course, if there's anything we can do for you, please just say the word.
Thank you so much, Scott, for having me. And Dave, thank you very much. You
You're
guys
welcome.
have been wonderful in helping us get the information out there to our communities on what we're doing, what we're about, and what our upcoming plans are.
Awesome.
I appreciate that.
And we will continue to do so.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. Okay, that was Christine Lawrence, the director of the Loaves and Fishes Warming Center in Herkimer, and that is all the time we have for this week. But please make sure you like or follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, and make sure you look up the Studio 25 Podcast Network. I'm Scott Kinville for Dave the Save Warner. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time.